Guys, my name is Sam Saggers, Director of Positive Real Estate. One of the great ways to make money in the market is to secure some land in a tightly held area and actually improve that land by adding a building to it and making some money by putting the land and the build together to capitalise on the value. Now, this principle has been around for a while, but it's seldomly very well taught, and I'm going to teach it to you today, because some of the great tips and strategies are often passed by the open marketplace. They simply don't understand the rationale. On your screen behind me, there's a slide. There's obviously two houses on the slide. One's an overcapitalised house and one is an undercapitalised house. Both properties are new. Which one is the better buy? There's an old saying in real estate, it is better to buy the worst house in the best street than the best house in the best street. Worst house, best street theory. This applies to new properties. If I could find you a new property today, some land at a good value, build that new property, and next door there was a home worth say $30,000, $40,000 or $50,000 more, the upturn of that value directly impacts you as an investor. In fact, you can make money by benchmark buying, by buying next door to houses worth more money. It's a basic principle, but it actually works. And we've seen this work time and time again. Our investors are buying these type of properties and they're doing very, very well. The next slide on your screen, we'll talk about land releases. Now, land releases are very, very strategic. In fact, in Australia today, there is a complete undersupply of good registered land. Okay, and if we can find where that is, we can do pretty well. And quite often these are in estates owned by publicly listed companies. Now, not every property estate is good. I wouldn't recommend rushing out there and getting involved in a house and land package if you don't quite know how to make money from it. There's no point in buying a house and land package just to get a tax deduction or to pay down debt. It doesn't make sense to me. You buy a house and land package to make a profit. There's a distinct difference. What I'm going to show you from the slide behind me is how to make a profit. Obviously, there's stage releases within communities, and the first stage to the last stage are all priced differently. This price manipulation is done through publicly listed companies who can drip feed the market land anytime they want to. Early stage releases are less expensive. Later stage releases, well, they cost the most, and essentially that's where the developers' profits are, and the publicly listed profits. So we need to buy it early, and in the early stage releases we're virtually guaranteed that the balance of the stage releases will go up in incremental value, and we've seen this time in and time out. If we can help our investors get into stage 1, 2 or 3 of a housing estate, they're usually buying land at an affordable price, and they're benefiting from the upside of later stage releases being released at a higher value. So it's a really, really important principle. Next slide talks about supply and demand. Publicly listed companies do control a lot of the supply and demand of properties. In fact, today there are some great companies that you can do business with, from Lendlease to Landcorp, to Mirvac, to Stocklands. These companies actually control a lot of the land supply around the country. Now, the trick to it is to get involved in tightly held owner-occupier estates, where their investor component is only sitting at around anywhere from, say, 5% of that community up to around sort of 20%. These areas are more lucrative because more owner-occupiers want to invest and overcapitalise on real estate within those communities. They're the ones we need to invest in. When you are offered an opportunity that has too many investors within it, it isn't the right place to invest. So I urge you to stop and understand what is the owner-occupier investor ratio. Okay, the next slide on your screen talks about new established benchmarks. It's one of the principles of getting into a new housing estate. We need to know what new houses are selling for, and we need to buy a lot cheaper. They're going to bring the value, and you're going to buy next door to that, which is a great principle. The final slide, you want to invest in blue chip areas or blue chip zones. You don't want to be investing in completely areas which are just investor saturated. Positive Real Estate can help you understand by coming along to one of our property investor nights where the good blue chip zones are and where you can actually make money by buying a new property. One of the great things about buying land and building a house on it is that you can avoid a lot of the stamp duty charges around the country because there's some good concessions today. But for any new time investors, don't be put off by this style of investment. Come along to one of our property information nights and let us help you understand how you can actually make money out of a good investment strategy. Call it the best tips and strategies. We'll see you at our property investor nights. Thanks for your time.